So they should be hot now.
Yo. I should probably put the Twitch chat on so I can interact with it rather than just talk at it.
Mm-hmm.
Although I'm not sure if they would know much difference.
Your message was very out of the blue.
Sorry. Yeah. I know. We usually play some games together on Fridays, and I was like trying to get like enough pain medication in me during the day that it would be okay, and then I finally was just like, this is not happening on Friday, and so I messaged him in Discord at like 4 o'clock, and I'm like, yo, I think I broke my ass. So yeah.
Nice.
Oh, I'm sitting on like the fluffiest pillow I can find, and it's still painful.
You considering seeing a doctor about it?
Huh? Am I considering seeing a doctor? I suppose I could. If it's good enough that I can sit on. If I can sit all day at work, then I won't. But if I go to work and I'm just like, I cannot.
Nope,
yeah,
gotta take the day off or something, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Coke Zero, oh my god. What kind of villain is this in chat?
Let's just make everything completely fucked if I open the blinds here.
Oh, nice.
That's fine.
That wasn't bad. Did I get my ass kicked? No. I decided that COVID was kicking my ass a little too hard, and I needed to go on a run and get rid of all this fat. I'm always like borderline fat these days because I don't play, like 25 hours of basketball every day. Do that math. So yeah, post college, I've always been like, God, I really need to do way more like running and way more. I should probably just play basketball a lot, but my knees don't really let me do that anymore. So I went for a run. Anyway, all of this is to say I was feeling fat, so I went for a run, and it was in the early morning because that's when you run, right? And I guess it had frozen over the night before, and I didn't realize it. It hasn't really gotten like 30-degree cold, I guess it's Celsius people, 0-degree cold yet around here, but I guess it had just gotten cold enough that there was ice on the ground, and I took a corner really hard and went right on the old tailbone.
I once did that on a swing set, like swinging out of the swing at peak height and trying to land on my feet, but the feet just skidded out and then just cracking the tailbone.
Yeah.
That was bad.
Yeah.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah, when I was doing my orientation at my college, I remember the person who was doing it mentioned like everybody at some point will slip and fall on the ice on this campus because it always freezes over and it's so hilly. So I made it my personal mission to never slip and fall on the ice, and I managed to do it. So
Nice.
I
Well,
took
aren't you
home some
just a
kind of trophy
superior
of some
being?
description.
Mr. I'm too good to slip and fall on my ass.
This is when we learned that Sean just wears cleats everywhere.
You know what? I fucking would. Like, have you ever? God, the sound the metal spikes make on concrete. It's very satisfying. Maybe the thing I miss second most about playing baseball is
Clickety clack, clickety clack. Yeah.
We just got some cleats for hiking in the snow because we hike up snowy trails and they're icy and you slip and fall and it's a mess, and had to get some cleats for that. And then promptly haven't gone back outside since.
Yeah. That's okay. You'll have them for like future years. Going outside feels less like a betrayal of mankind. No, that's my problem when I do like outdoorsy things. I'm like, I want good stuff so that I'll do it more often, and then I buy like good outdoorsy stuff, and then I've outdoorsed once or twice a year tops. It doesn't help that my dad's a big like steelheader, and he has like all of the like fancy stay warm shit because it's always freezing cold when you steelhead, and he's got all the camping shit and all this like $1,000 fishing stuff, and I'm over here with like 2 sweatshirts and a cup of like hot chocolate. That's finally like, this is unacceptable.
He's like out in the middle of the river up to his knees, and you're like bundled on the bank.
Oh no, you got to be out in the river too, but like it fucking blows. If you're not wading out in the river, you're not catching steelhead. But well, to be fair, if you're steelheading, you're still probably not catching steelhead. Steelheading is the type of fishing where you fish all day long and you might catch one steelhead. And like if you catch 3 steelhead, you are a god. Like you are killing it that day.
Wow.
And people do it because they're big MFing fish, but like, God, it's not for me. It's just not for me.
I don't know how I would feel about that.
I think it takes a certain type of person to actually enjoy it. I don't think it's something that you just like have in, like, I don't think most people just are like, oh yeah, this is great. Let's do more of this. I think mostly it's just you were born with that temperament.
I actually really want to go fishing sometime.
Well, fishing. Okay, look. Here's the thing, right? There's
normal
multiple...
fishing for once. Okay.
Yeah.
Normal fishing would do fine.
I would be happy to go regular fishing more often, but the like steelheading in the frickin' snow, nah.
Oh my god.
Nah, fam. And then I would be a schnob about it too, because I hate it when people use a spinning line and like bait. I'm just like, oh, this is horrible.
I've never considered that you would do this like wading in the river style fishing when it's literally freezing out.
Oh yeah, and it's so cold.
My god.
And it's so cold.
I'm assuming you've got some sort of like waterproof pants on, so you're not getting drenched.
Yes, they're called waders.
Waders, but still.
You noob, Neal. Jesus.
I'm sorry, miss. I've never been fishing. At least I've been fishing once before. Twice.
Yeah, so if you, they're waterproof. They're like vinyl. And you can get really cheap ones that are like $30 and they're just literally wearing a bag.
Nice.
A bag and a belt. And then you can get like really expensive ones that are lined and insulated and all this stuff. They're always uncomfortable, I feel like.
They have the like suspenders that hold them up, or are they like belt tied?
Well, both. They're suspendered up, and then you should be wearing a belt, because what happens is if you fall, the water will get in the waders and fill them up. So you want to have a belt to prevent that from happening.
So you'll just be freezing from the waist up. But
you'll get out of the water if you fall.
But you wouldn't call it a day, right? You're still gonna get back in.
Probably. I mean, I would be crying in a motel, but no. If you fall, it depends on how bad you fall, right? Like if you fall and it's filling up your waders, like there's a chance that might just be the end of your day, because you got to get out of the water, you got to hike back to like wherever your vehicle is, you got to get out of your clothes, warm up, right? Change. Like that could take all of your day depending on how far you were and how bad the fall was. If you fall a little bit, like whatever, maybe you just whip off your sweatshirt, but like won't get out of the water if you fall unconscious. That is true.
Oh wait, are we live? Okay.
Yes, we are. Yes. Sorry, mics are hot, Faye.
Mics are
it's
hot.
Fine. I was almost talking about politics. We're good. Safe. Nothing.
That's okay. Sean will come back, and I'm sure the topic.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Rise. You could just chamber that bullet. So how was your holiday?
Mine?
Yeah.
Quiet and isolated, and probably the nicest I've had in the past 5 years. So pretty good, nice. I would say.
Good.
It is. If you've worked in retail during Christmas time for a bunch of years, having a quiet December is a gift that you will cherish when it comes back, if it ever comes back.
I couldn't imagine working retail, like true retail, in the holiday. I think I would like become the most angry, bitter. Not that I'm not already, but I think it would just amplify.
I know what you mean, Greg. I'm with you on that one. No, it was one of my last days at work was Black Friday. And it was pretty clear at that point that we were gonna shut down Germany during Christmas time. I think like 1 week later or something, we shut down. And I was working, and I was in the city, and I was like, I do not want to do this. I don't want to work in retail during Christmas time during a pandemic. And then I think like 1 or 2 days later, my boss was like, "Oh my God, we're having too many people working still because we gotta cut back on the workers. We have to send somebody home. If you stay home, you get less pay, but you get to stay home." And I was like, I want to stay home. And if you know me, right, I'm a pretty hard worker, and I do enjoy working a lot, which is not a healthy mindset to have. Cannot recommend. And it took me a lot to just be like, I just want to stay home. I want to drink a cup of tea. I want to have some cookies. And I don't want to talk to anybody for the next 3 weeks, you know? So, yeah, I told her, and she was like, oh, she didn't want to let me go first. And then she talked to her boss, and she was like, okay, you can stay home. And I was like, yes. And it was the best decision, or one of the best decisions I've made all year to not be working.
It would be great if... It wouldn't be great, right? It would be bad. But I'm jealous of the, like, people who had stay-at-home orders and legitimately stayed at home. I guess that's a very selfish mindset, because I was fortunate enough to have a job and work through the whole thing. But I also had a job and worked through the whole thing, and I went to work every single day. And it was like during tax season, which then got extended extra months and then didn't, and it was very stressful. And I really want like a month of nothing.
Yes.
I want to stay in my apartment and like fiddle with Dungeons and Dragons and like ignore everyone and not have to be worried about other people's money for a while.
Yep, I totally understand that. No, I finished. Somebody asked. No, I finished my studies this year in the midst of COVID, which was nice. And like I was a part-time student, part-time worker to subsidize my lifestyle. You know how it is. Mm-hmm. So I'm not a full-time retail worker. But let me tell you, like any hours you spend in retail are hours you'll never get back for your life. So that's how it is. Yeah.
Apparently, people think you are a lawyer, Faye.
Oh, that's because of my tendency to, I don't know, disagree with my DMs, probably.
Come to the Rule Lawyer office of Faye and Faye Sons.
It's Feyama and Sean, actually.
Oh, right, the Sean and Faye
Sean.
Associates.
It's Sean. Sean and Faye Associates, yes. But I bought in, so he's he has the company, and I'm just like a subdivision.
That's why his name comes first.
For certain problems, exactly.
What have I done?
We're making
Nothing.
fun of the rules lawyer in you.
Okay.
So, Sean, what prompted the great beard change of 2021?
Telling you, it's because he watched Star Wars and he was like, my roots.
I remember this. Back when I was young, I looked like this.
No, I'd been talking about it for a while. The Guardian Force was like,
that's what I thought.
You should do it.
That's what I thought.
It's like, all right, I'll do it.
There's a certain point usually, you go, okay, so give him some time, He can look whatever the fuck he wants, because I still love him. That's okay. So you wait, right? You wait.
But then eventually,
you wait until somebody posts the "What year is it?" meme from Jumanji, right? you know what I mean, with a giant beard and the hair like this, and then you compare them to your boyfriend, and when it reaches about the, this is the same image level, then you say, so no year, no me. What about the beard though? So you wait, and then you're like,
It was the Yukon Cornelius meme for her instead of the Jumanji one.
Yukon Cornelius.
I think every man is allowed 1 year of completely unmitigated, ungroomed beard growth. But you get 1 year, Mine was the year that we got married and moved to Vietnam, and it got out of
I
hand,
remember
wild.
you had it when I
beer.
tried out for your show, if I recall. When I
Yeah.
went over for yours.
And it was just an unmitigated mess. And after that, more managed.
I think
from here on out.
it really like it worked though at the time, right? It was kind of like Neal is gone. Neal has left his home and is like slowly descending into madness on his trip abroad.
Yeah.
Weren't you sitting in the kitchen with that woolen hat as well? Like,
Yes. Yes, someone gave me the hat with the ear
I
flaps
remember-
and the thingy.
Yeah.
It was a Christmas
yeah.
gift.
You did look like you'd gone into the mountains for a while, and you were like, "I'm off the grid. The satellites can't get me now."
You know, you're in a strange country. There's no one else that looks anything like you anywhere. You're taller than everyone else. You've got a weird red beard. I think you gotta like go big or go home.
See,
You know,
you
just
really
be the
missed
really-
the opportunity with that because you should have saved the beard time for when you were playing Pendragon. It would have fit your character so well.
Well, we'll just have to play Pendragon again.
I
I'll
found
grow back
out-
out.
Are you capable of playing Pendragon again? I thought that scarred you.
No, I know how to ham it up and make it seem like I'm more effective than I really am.
I found out that somebody made like a cut of the Neal the Mad Saxon, and that was a great 20-ish minutes of my life.
Yeah. I'm enjoying playing with Stephen again on Pawns and Patrons, even though it's a very different feel. It's nice to. He's a good DM. He's a funny guy.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I met him once.
I
He was
really enjoy
very
watching
nice.
his stuff.
Damn Netherlands stealing him away from us. So clearly we don't have a Ryan today because of the obvious complication.
Complication.
The-
Nice. Nice one, Neal.
because of the obstacle to our friendship.
I guess that's better than calling it a growth.
Oh my god, you guys. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Wow.
Yeah, congratulations, Ryan. Well done.
Yes.
I think the real
Best
reason
of
is
luck.
his family's still in town, and I think that's their last day in town or something. They'll be leaving soon. Oh, yeah.
So is he hiding Dungeons and Dragons from them? Is it like?
I think it's more like I'm gonna spend time with my family that I don't.
Yeah,
get to
I do
see,
get that,
rather
but
than
I
these
do,
four
but I do
strangers.
wonder if they know the extent of his Dungeons and Dragoning. You know.
Oh, well, he and I grew up playing Dungeons and Dragons together, so like I would just go over to his house with the books and we'd play D&D in the living room for 8 hours, and then he'd come over to my house and we played D&D for, 8 hours or whatever. So his parents are well aware of our addiction. And I don't know what they know about him doing things in the modern age. I think they're familiar or aware that something is happening, but I don't know if they know the extent of his insanity.
This sounds like a really bad murder mystery on like the Freeform channel. They're like, my husband is addicted to Dungeons and Dragons. What is he actually doing?
Kobold breeding simulator.
Oh God. That's the sequel. It was far worse than I ever expected. It all started when I heard the name Mama B.
I thought he might be killing people or sacrificing chickens. He's just doing fictitious creature breeding simulations. It's the worst I could ever have imagined.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. What's the shirt, Sean? Is that someone playing a sword or playing a guitar?
No, it's Agrius.
Oh! What? Since when are there FF Tactics shirts?
I was on the Yeti about a month or two
Since
ago.
when? Probably since 15 years. Yeah, get with it. Since when? How old is Final Fantasy Tactics? Give me a break.
Yeah,
Give me
but
a
there
break.
wasn't FF Tactics merchandise 24 years
because
ago
you have
when it
not
came
been
out.
looking. Tactics.
You could probably find some good stuff on
merchandise.
Redbubble.
Let's see. 3,720,000 Google hits, Neal.
Who invited you here, Faye? What is this?
Oh,
Oof.
nice.
You know, I don't usually wear a lot of like merch or apparel that's branded, but I would wear the shit out of an FF Tactics shirt. Oh my
Yeah.
I only wear branded apparel.
They put two tactic shirts up on the Yeti a month or two back, and I was like, yeah, no, I'm getting both of those.
I'm
Nice.
old. What is the Yeti?
The Yeti, it's a video and I think also board game related like merchandise thing, and they do daily shirts essentially. I think they also have like a more permanent stock of items. But basically every day they run 2 shirt designs that you can buy, and they're only available for that day.
You know, every YouTuber ever that has like a limited run of T-shirts, like they all go through the Yeti.
Yeah.
Wow.
There's a lot of good stuff that they put through though. Like most of their daily designs are pretty solid.
I find nothing on the Yeti for tactics.
No,
Disappointed.
I'm pretty sure it was just that one day.
Ugh.
Yep. Sorry, Neal.
Ugh.
Now you gotta bribe him for his own shirt. Like, what does it take to get that shirt? Like, does Malachi come back? Like, how does that shirt happen?
I know if I were in his position, I wouldn't give it up. I'm not even gonna try and bribe him.
You could probably just track down the artist who did it and like buy the rights to print it or something.
Oh my god, they have Stardew Valley shirts. God damn.
Oh yeah. Yep. Those were on the daily rotation.
Dance of the Moonlight Jellies. Goodbye, money.
We just did that. We just did
Goodbye.
the Moonlight Jellies.
Oh, look at
Oh yeah,
that
so you
shit.
started playing Stardew Valley.
Oh my
Yeah.
god, this is adorable. I'm gonna send you all the links. Look at this shit.
Send us the links.
Oh
What are
my
you
god,
cooing
so
over?
cute. This is so cute. Yeah, where's chat? You're gonna get some links to here. We're not sponsored, but if you would like to sponsor us, the Yeti, I'm gonna wear all the t-shirts. Okay. All the
yeah.
t-shirts.
Oh, it's totes adorbs. Yeah, so Lauren and I started playing Stardew Valley. Our anniversary gift to each other this year was to like get a TV set up so that we could play video games together in the living room. And we've been playing Mortal Kombat, which is great. And,
Nice.
and we're both bad at it, so we're like equally terrible, which is nice.
Yeah.
And then Stardew Valley is our co-op game, and we just like trade days off between each other. And it's good. You know, there's a lot of backseat gaming. She's really bad at backseat gaming. Oh my god.
You're not
Oh
much
my
better, my
God.
dude. I've watched the stream. Don't tell me. You're both terrible.
We're both terrible, but like, she's way worse. Way worse. She doesn't have a lifetime experience of restraining from backseat gaming to know
Yeah.
to hold back.
Doesn't have
But
your
it's like,
history as an epic gamer.
Yeah, it's just like water that plant. Of course, I'm on my way to water the plant. There's a thing. Go get the thing. I'm walking towards the thing here. That's what like. Yep. Were there other things that you were posting? No, just the
Oh
one.
no, that was my favorite one. I just picked one.
Nice. Yep. So that's what we've been doing. I think we sunk 30 hours into it in 3 play sessions.
Nice.
It's definitely that kind of game because it's got that big like one more day feel to it, right? And you
It's
got to
got
finish
this-
the day once you start because it saves at the end.
Right, right.
And then
It's
you
got
gotta
the-
finish at least the season, so next time you start, you can start in summer, 'cause that's gonna be amazing. So
It's
Yep.
got the civilization effect, which is compounded by the fact that we trade off turns. So then it's like the controller comes to me. Well, do I want to take my turn or do I want to call it a night? I'm going to take my turn, but we'll call it a night when I'm done. And I hand the controller to her, and she's like, well, I'm tired, but those pumpkins are coming. Well, I'll do one more round. And so the trading makes it worse.
I think also like Civilization, you can kind of hit like brain fatigue on because you actually have to like rub 2 brain cells together a little bit to get some Civilization gaming on. Whereas Stardew Valley, you can just kind of vibe out.
You obviously have not played the Greg Hansen verified version of Civilization strategies because there is no brain power required. Do you have tanks? If no, continue building until you get tanks. If yes, build only tanks.
Okay, but see, that's still a strategy, right? Like, I think because there's like this layer of abstraction on everything you do in Civilization, even if you're doing the basic strategy, you still have to like think your way through. Like, all right, I gotta get production.
I click tanks. When I start up my game of Civilization, I scroll to the thing that says make tanks on the technology tree, and I click it, and then I turtle like a bitch until I get tanks, and then I kill off my whole population to turn them into tanks, and then everyone dies.
Wait, but it takes you like 15 to 20 hours in game to get to tanks. It takes fucking forever.
Have you guys seen that post from like many years ago about like the game of Civilization 2 that never ended, and they're in like an eternal struggle with I guess the Vikings, that like they both hit the nuclear age and they keep like nuking each other every turn and then entering a ceasefire to not nuke each other, which they then spend the next 2 turns like rebuilding their civilizations from the last nuclear war, and then they proceed to like immediately break the ceasefire and like nuke each other all over again.
Oh my god.
I've always been annoyed by nukes in Civilization because they are so ineffective. Like, if you drop one nuke, your enemy city loses like 4 population, and then it gets like a bunch of radiation. But then they just get the fast worker scrubbers out, and they just scrub the shit out of it, and the radiation's gone. And then in like 2 turns, their like population's built back up. Like, if you want to have any efficacy at all with the nukes, you have to drop like 27 of them. And even then, it doesn't. I feel like I just dropped 27 nukes on one city, and it's still going.
Yeah. It's one of those things where it's like, I get why it wouldn't just wipe a city off the map, because like people rebuild.
I almost wish it was more OP. I almost wish it was like, yeah, you dropped a nuke and then like the game ends because you either win or everyone murders you.
Yeah, that's kind of my take, is that it should have like, it feels like the repercussions of a nuke are not strong enough in Civilization. Like, it's not a big enough deal what you're doing.
Yeah.
It should be like both like a nightmare weapon and also a diplomatic nightmare for the person who fires it.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Oh, it's really irritating if you nuke the Indians too, because they have the perk for extra fast scrubbers. So like, not only do they have like a million workers, they have the like uber efficient ones. So your nuke is like 25% as effective as normal.
Wasn't that the bug in Civ 5 though, that Gandhi was, if Gandhi were turned too peaceful, he would go into negative, which would make him nuke everybody around him?
He was
that was like
Civ
Civilization 2 or 1. Like, that was old.
Okay, was that far back? I thought it was 3.
Yeah, it was
I have no idea because I only played 6, which is, I know, a travesty because they the best, but like I only played
it was
6. So.
It's bug in one of the old ones where the value of peacefulness could go negative, and then it would tilt back to the other side. It just like didn't properly bound the
I'm pretty sure it was 1 or 2.
Yeah, an old bug, which then I think became just like a staple of the game, like a bug that then became a feature.
I don't think that's the case. But
I think they just never bothered to fix it.
Well, how could you not fix it when you're like rebuilding the game 1,000 times?
Maybe they did. Maybe they did it. Like, maybe they kept it as a non-bug for a while. But like, by the time Civilization 4 came around, like, I don't believe that was the case. I did not notice Gandhi being extra attacky. And I played a lot of Civ 4. Beyond the Sword, Civ 4 Beyond the Sword, I think, is still the best Civilization. Like, that expansion. Like, 5 and 6 are fine, but like, I still go back to Civ 4 Beyond the Sword sometimes. It's just like really good.
Reported overflow error was fabricated by an internet troll who was annoyed that Gandhi nuked them as a means of venting, or simply seeing how far they could spin the joke on the matter. They made up a reason and shared it online.
And it was all a troll all along.
Maybe.
Nice.
Or maybe this person's full of shit.
I mean,
I'm not going to trust this random article.
does it matter in the end?
I mean, nothing matters in the end, right? Life is fleeting and meaningless, and it's just a big empty void out there. You find meaning where you want to. I find meaning in Gandhi nuking people.
I just remember that there was this. What was this one thing where the whole blood is thicker than water? right? Discussion, and then the other people saying, oh, that's not how the saying goes. The saying continues, blah, 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 which makes it the opposite. And then it turns out it was just all a big as internet meme, and the original meaning in the first place was blood is thicker than water, and it's never been any other meaning than what it actually means.
Not gonna lie, none of that sounds familiar to me.
No, okay.
I don't recognize that at all.
The blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, blood is thicker than water as a saying makes sense when you consider like how much like family politics dominated human history.
Well, the idea was that, Greg, that people kept saying blood is thicker than water and thinking that means family is more important than your relationship to other people, right? Whatever. And then were people on the internet who were saying, but the original meaning was the blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb, which obviously means the people you associate yourself with are more important or are closer to you than your family, right? And then there was this discussion going on, and then it turns out that the original meaning is not the covenant part, but actually just the blood is thicker than water part, and whatever people were saying afterwards was just wrong. And a different interpretation of the same thing that happened way, way later. So, like, can't trust anything anyways, you know?
All right. I mean, that does sound like the internet. Somebody just decided to say something incorrectly and then argued it well enough that it became a thing.
That it became established fact,
Yes.
and then until it wasn't fact anymore.
Until it wasn't fact anymore. Yeah. Or you can be like my friends and just be wrong and try to tell me that characters that are clearly heroes are villains and make me very upset.
What are we talking about?
Oh my
here, Greg?
god! Did you did you also read that fucking article that guy posted that was like the destruction of Alderaan was completely justified?
I have
Oh
also.
my god! I
have,
just saw the tweet from you, Sean, and I was like, I'm not even gonna read this. This is bullshit.
I read the article.
This is
It's
bullshit.
even more just like batshit insane than the headline was. It just,
I have also read that, but I was referring to a different argument I had with my friend. But yes, that article is insane. Please enlighten everyone on the insanity that is that article.
Oh my god!
I'm
By the
making
way,
myself a cup
like
of tea 'cause that shit makes
before
my
Sean goes, like, you should follow Sean on Twitter if you like have a stomach for some depressing shit. But like, intermixed with the depressing shit, he will tweet the most random fucking things. I'm like, I just need to experience this now. I need to experience this retweet. What is this gem from Sean's twisted nightmare fantasy that I am experiencing today?
Oh my god.
The article in question though is god, it's this fucking, he's like an opinion columnist for, oh god, was it the Washington Post? And he apparently he has a really prolific backlog of just like writing articles for them, which is a shame because he fucking shouldn't. And he's like a noted imperial apologist is something that he regularly says about himself. I still can't tell if it's supposed to just be like a long-running joke, but as far as I can tell, he's completely serious. It's like, oh no, the rebellion is actually evil, and like the empire is a benevolent dictatorship, and Alderaan was a military target, therefore the destruction of it was completely justified. Oh my god, it's.
We have further reason to disbelieve Princess Lyre when we consider her adopted father, Balior Organa, was one of the original members of the rebellion, conferring with Obi-Wan Kenobi and Yoda in an effort to undermine the democratically elected Chancellor Palpatine shortly before his ascension. Wow.
Like,
This is amazing.
Jesus. Yeah, it's like there's like a weird subset of people who have discovered that maybe the rebellion is not the best thing in the world, and then they take that to mean clearly that means the empire's the good guys, right? It's like no, it's, you can criticize multiple things at the same time.
Not in the age of the internet. If you criticize something, then obviously the opposite thing you fully 100% endorse. This is the way of the internet.
So Alderaan was a legitimate military target. I'm just going to read a paragraph here. Was the level of force used against it justified? It's a tricky question. It seems the least bad of all the alternatives. Consider another option.
He justifies it to he likens it to the bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. By the way, just to like.
That's
just to
exactly. Yeah. Considering the other option, the Empire could have taken invading Alderaan, removing its leaders, and installing a pro-Empire regime. However, putting boots on the ground in this matter would have likely destabilized not only the whole planet but the entire region, creating a breeding ground for religious terrorists and draining blood and treasure for decades. That's the same logic people use these days to justify Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
Yeah, which, by the way, that justification of like it was the least bad option and people did the grim calculus and made that decision to bomb Japan. That's a highly contested point, and there's a lot of other interpretations as to why we dropped the atomic bombs, and there's a lot of information out there if you want to look at some of the other reasons that might have happened.
I was waiting for, as chat points out, the Alderaan was hiding weapons of mass destruction take. Like, the whole article, I was waiting for it. So, like, Chad and I obviously thought the same thing was happening in that article. I was really bummed it didn't.
Yeah, no, I would not be surprised. I think it came out too late, right? If he had posted that article in like 2001, he totally would have written that. He would have been like, how do we know there weren't weapons of mass destruction all around? Yeah, no. But no, I think in 2015 that one's too toxic of a take to get away with, even for neoconservative writers.
My God.
Have any of you read the Grandmaster of Demonic Cultivation, or watched the anime / Chinese anime, or watched the Netflix show based on it, which is called something different? They call it The Stranded. No? Okay.
Let me get a post-it note. Tell me that title again. What was it called?
Okay, so I'm not going to try to butcher the Chinese name. There is a novel that, when translated, is roughly The Grandmaster of Demonic Cultivation. And it has been adapted into a Chinese anime and like essentially a webtoon as well, and a live action on Netflix. And the live action on Netflix has a different name, and I think it's called like The Stranded or something.
Okay, The Grandmaster of Demonic what?
Cultivation. So in Chinese fiction, they set a lot of their like kind of myths in a quote unquote cultivation world. And the idea is that these people cultivate chi and use it to like perform great feats, right? When you see the people flying in Chinese cinema and like wushu, they tend to be like in that tradition of cultivating chi. So the cultivation thing is like a type of story, right? It's the kind of fantasy story that you normally see. All right, you haven't seen it, so nope. I will save my rant.
Ask me again next year around this. Is that about the hero is actually not a hero? Is that what it's about?
Yes, I'm very annoyed. I'm very annoyed. One of my friends told me Wei Wuxian was a villain, and I'm very pissed off by this. It's a terrible take. I don't care how much he like tortured his enemies. He's fine. Good guy.
Oh man. So anyone have any big plans coming up for the new year?
No, my big plan was to take a week off work and just live like a nocturnal garbage person.
Nice. Did you do that, or is that still coming up?
No, I did that. Yeah.
When did that end? Last night?
Sort of. Depends on how you want to look at it. It attempted to end last night. Did I successfully end? It's a little more up for debate.
Because I remember sending Sean a message on Steam. I was like, okay, let's see if Sean is online. I'm like, is he supposed to online? I don't know. He's playing some kind of game I've never heard the name of before, what he usually does. Yeah, it was last night. And I was like, Sean, chit chat, Just letting you know in case you're interested. Enjoy yourself. Goodbye.
I mean, that wasn't even. You did that at like midnight my time. That's not.
That I can't even tell. I mean, time zones. You know what is life? I don't know.
I mean, I imagine you've been in a similar state to me because you took all of December off, right? Like you were just basically, yeah.
I am not a all-night person. I love to sleep, and I think 3:30 is about when I start hating myself for staying up, and I'll just be like, I'm just going to bed. And then I wake up at 10 and I'm like, yeah, new day, new me. I just don't believe in all-nighters. It just doesn't happen to me.
Yeah,
I don't think I've ever stayed up for 24 hours, you know, and felt the need to stay up. It doesn't happen. It's never happened to me, really.
I do the same thing as you, except my point where I start to crash is closer to like 8 in the morning.
Blah, no.
No, if there's like a turning point, right? Somewhere around 4:30 to 5 in the morning, it like the day rolls over, and if I'm still awake at 4:30, then I'm up for the rest of the next day. Because like at that point, even if I want to go to sleep, my brain is now like, no, it's morning. We're awake now. I'm weird. I will be so tired. I want to like, I don't know, just sleep for an eternity at 4 in the morning. I'm just like, I can't even function. I'm so tired. And then like 35 minutes later, I'll just be like, all right, what am I doing for the rest of the day? This is good. Should we go for a run? Should we make some eggs?
Shall we go for a run? Maybe I've just never stayed up long enough to hit that point, you know, where I was like, I want to see what the rest of the day is like.
Yeah, I mean, it's also based around your. I imagine your circadian rhythm plays into it as well. So like, if you hit a certain point, you're gonna get your second wind, right? So if you did force yourself past 3:30 far enough, you'd probably eventually just be like, no, I'm fine. I'll stay for another 8 hours. I'm good.
Yeah, but I'd have to hate myself for like 3 more hours to then be fine.
Yeah.
You know, is that worth it? Is my question.
The worst thing in the world was when we did a 24-hour, like, I don't know, game. Like, remember when D&D had the like for the kids like streams and stuff and like the big event? I don't remember what it was for. It was this charity thing. Our local game store had like a 24-hour game at the time, and like we got a big group of people in the local game shop. We played through like Dragon's Queen, like one of the 5e adventure modules, like all the way through, and we played and then the store closed, and when the store closed we all went, hey, 10-minute break, and we all went to the liquor store and grabbed a bunch of liquor, and then we continued playing in our like 9-person 10-person table all the way through for the 24-hour mark. And then I went home. Well, I had been drinking all night and the previous day, and it was early, but I had like hit that point where I was no longer tired. And I was like, shit. And so I stayed up all of the rest of the day. And then like, I'd already been drinking, so I was like, I'll drink some more. And then by the time I realized I should probably go to bed again, it was already super late in the morning. And then like, I tried to go to sleep, but I couldn't because I'd been drinking and it does weird things to me. And so I hit that like 4:35 o'clock in the morning again, and I got back up. I was like, well, I guess this is just gonna be the end of my week. So
wait, for how long did you stay awake then?
Like I went to bed that Sunday at like 5:30 in the evening, but I basically had been up since Friday, Saturday, and then like most of Sunday.
Christ.
It was horrible. Then I had to go to the bank, and it was just bad times.
Yeah, no, I can sleep at literally any time at this point. So, if I get tired enough, like what happens to me is I get to about 9 in the morning, and then my brain's like, yeah, I'm not enjoying this, and I just kind of sit there for a couple minutes. I'm like, yeah, no, this isn't fun, and I go to bed.
My brain does weird things when I'm not having fun. It's like, well, you just need to do this more and harder and better, and then you'll have fun. Which is a dangerous rabbit hole with certain games. Somebody like, I'm not having fun with Dark Souls. Well, you better do this more and harder and better, and then you'll have fun with Dark Souls, I'm sure.
I have
Did you beat the game though?
No.
No, he didn't.
Dark
I know he
Souls?
didn't. Greg stole it out of Dark Souls Adventures. No, you just gotta adopt the philosophy that I've always worked with of I'll play a game until it upsets me, and then I'll Alt F4 and uninstall it immediately. That's what I did in Mass Effect 3 because that game upset the hell out of me.
Wow.
I grew up as a console gamer, so there was not Alt F4. You had to get up, walk across the room, and then angrily push a button to reset it if you wanted to do that.
Not every PC game supports it either. Like Mass Effect 3, which didn't, but I refused to let the game beat me, so I used the task manager to kill it.
That's amazing. I love it. No, I got stuck enough in Dark Souls that I would just hand the controller to my brother, because back during Dark Souls times we were still kids, and then I was like, I can't beat this, beat it. And then my brother beat it for me, and then I would keep playing until I got stuck again, and I'd be like, Nick, beat this for me. Now I can't do that anymore. So now when I play like Bloodborne, I'm just stuck with my own inability.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I gave it to the Guardian for respect before it was on PC because I had a copy on console. I think she made it to Anne Orlando before getting stuck on the Archers. And to be fair, that's a fair place to get stuck. that's a place where a lot of people are like, I fucking hate this game, and they quit forever.
Check out these dinosaur pajamas that I got for Christmas.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. There's a
Are
matching
they from
top.
Lauren?
No, they're from our in-law, Lauren's parents. They got us
Nice.
both a matching set of top and bottoms of this exact same pattern,
Nice.
which is too much to
Good
wear
taste.
at the same time, but super cozy.
You don't want to be
comfortable.
all dinosaurs all the time? I can't believe it.
I enjoy the dinosaur pajamas, but when we're both wearing matching dinosaur pajamas, it's a little much for me. I can't.
I'm not that committed to it. It's fine.
There's something in me that doesn't accept it very well. So
Matching dinosaur pajamas needs to be the next Christmas card, obviously.
Yeah.
There was discussions about that. I vetoed the process. But they're very cozy, and I like.
I
the
got something
dinosaurs.
better. I got Santa with a dragon.
Oh.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
Nice
Or
socks.
is that a scarf?
They are socks. Yeah, they're like business socks. So now I can go to my job as an accountant and very seriously explain tax code while Santa is getting driven around by a dragon.
Nice. Nice. What about you, Sean?
For Christmas?
Yeah.
What about your socks? Yeah, tell us about
Yeah,
them.
well, yeah. Did you get 6 socks?
No. The Guardian Force got me a bunch of Glorantha coins.
Ooh.
What?
We've
Tell
got
me
it.
what a Glorantha is.
It's a tabletop RPG setting that I have fallen down the fucking rabbit hole for. I'll show next time we do King and Dragon Pass, Greg. I'll show you my folder hierarchy at this point that I've used
Nice.
to like organize the
Heard
vast
of
quantities
that
of like
before.
source books that I've now collected for this fucking setting. But yeah, they got like they're
Which is gonna double as both really funny because you're gonna have a bunch of books, and as like my appreciation of your like organization. I remember you saving games, and I was like, for save files, this is amazing.
Oh
I
yeah,
can't believe it.
Yeah, because I timestamped them right, like with the, yeah, so.
In their own little folder, and like, it was great.
That's nice.
Yeah, I like the imperfections on them as well, like how they're not perfect coins. Very, very nice in that regard. And then in proper Glorantha fashion, they also mint coins in different areas for different purposes because of course they do. Of course they do. They can never make it simple.
How many different types of coins?
I assume every kingdom has its own. Like this is the Sardarite Gilder, which used to be a big thing, and then it wasn't anymore when they got taken over by the Lunar Empire, and now they use silver lunars. And you've got your golden wheels, which are
Massive.
Wow.
yeah, they're enormous. They're huge. You've got oh yeah, Neal, you might like this name since you've always been looking for a proper name. You've got copper clacks, is what they're called. I know you've been looking for a nice little slang term for your copper coins.
Clacks is pretty good. I like the, not quite alliteration, but close enough. What about you, Faye?
Is that not a... Hold on. Wait, is that not
that's
alliteration? Yeah,
Copper,
that is alliteration.
clack? Yeah, I guess it's alliteration. Yeah.
Alliteration doesn't mean rhyming. It just starts with the
it's
same sound.
Yeah,
That's
think he's
because
going
one is k and the other is x, right?
yeah, they're close enough.
Copper and clacks is not the same sound.
Well, how do you write clacks, right?
Well, it doesn't matter how you write it, though, right?
C-L-A-C-K-S.
No, okay, x is one sound. K is one sound.
It's
It's
not
the same sound.
It's not slacks. It's clacks.
Yes, which is why. Well, it's the x is one sound though. Do you know what I mean?
Sure, but there's no s in any of these words. It's copper and clacks.
Yes,
not
copper. No,
clacks.
what I meant is alliteration in clacks. Do you get what I mean? I'm not talking about copper, right?
What?
Oh, I obviously
What do
don't
you
know what you mean.
Wait, what?
Don't worry about it, Greg. Don't worry about it.
Either I'm stupid
Because
or I
Neal
don't know.
said,
No,
I
you're not
like the
stupid, Greg. She's not making any
alliteration.
sense.
I like the
Okay,
alliteration in clacks, is what Neal said. He didn't say I like the alliteration in copper clacks.
But you don't have alliteration within a single word. It's a word-to-word thing. It's not like one word alliterates itself,
Why not?
right?
Why not?
Because that just blows my mind. It just can't be.
This isn't how I've thought of the world. I don't like it.
Thank you, Sean. Thank you.
I did not think alliteration was one word. I
don't-
didn't think you were talking about just the word clacks, because
I wasn't.
alliteration in my mind was two words, right? You
Yeah.
copper clacks.
It's the
I
same
guess you
sort
could
of
have
I
like
believe you can have
internal.
one word alliteration, but I don't
Sure.
really remember how yours.
If we're talking about the single alliterative value of clacks, then Faye, you are spot on. Because clacks is not alliterative with itself.
Well, I guess most alliterations are just the start of words, right? So it would have to be different ones.
Some
but-
might even say all alliterations are the start of words. But that's neither
I
here nor
can't.
there.
I don't know.
You've got NECA backing you up, which is never a good sign.
No, I'm not worried about that.
Anyway, what did you get for Christmas, Faye?
Ooh, I'm not sure if I can beat coin collections and socks and pajamas. Let's see.
Really? Those are pretty low bars.
I did get some socks too, but they're just black and white bamboo socks. Oh, I got a really nice scented candle, so I'm right up
Oh, I
there.
heard about
Where's
this. Where is it?
Yes. I actually have no fucking idea. 1 second.
Imagine this
where
would be
is it?
great for the listeners who are hearing us talk about our Christmas gifts that they're not able to see.
It's called Chit Chat,
actually
not Show and
Quality
Tell.
podcast.
Yes, really
Actually,
nice.
what you need to do is record the video of this and put it on Patreon as like an exclusive.
See, Nick is already
If you,
complaining that
if you want to see the gifts, then you have to. you
I'll
have
be
to
right
pay
back.
up.
This is a candle emergency. Just
Nick's already.
Bridget with something.
And clearly the best gift of this is Faye, like, looking around like a meerkat for the candle. Like, where is it? Is it over there?
Yeah.
I don't remember where I put it. It's my favorite Christmas gift. Where'd it go? Oh.
Nick's already complaining, like, Sean, you owe us a picture. And I can just be like, nah, should have made it to Chit Chat. In it, bruv.
So Nick is observing but not participating in this.
I don't know.
No, he messaged me on Twitter. I don't think he's watching the stream because he asked somebody else to take a screenshot for him.
Okay, we're good. I got it. So, dear friends and followers, no, I like scented candles because I'm a, basic bitch. This one is one of the most expensive ones I've got so far. It's a wood wick candle, which means it has a wooden wick. Would have thought. If you light these, they will crackle like a fireplace.
Ooh.
So they make a really nice sound. And they are layered. Like this one is a trilogy candle, which means it is layered with 3 different kinds of wax, and they will smell differently depending on where you are at the candle. And yeah, these are probably my favorite one, like my favorite candles, but they're really expensive, so I don't buy them myself, and I only get them as gift. I got this one. And the other thing I got, which I was really excited about, is I got a Hobonichi planner for this year. if you like stationery as much as I do, then you would be very excited to get one of these. So from the outside, it looks like this. They come in different covers. So that was like, this one's made in Yorkshire. So they got it for me because I used to live in York for a while. And it's really, really nice and very soft. And the zipper's really smooth, which is something I like.
Nothing
And
worse than a
inside?
catchy zipper.
There's a little planner made from Japanese paper. Looks like this. And it's like a calendar, pretty much, on like really, really nice paper. And there's one little quote of the day down there. And stuff like that. So it's like, it's just a yearly planner, but I really like making lists and I do like paper, so this is a pretty good gift for me. And I was really excited about that one. Yeah. I already have your birthday in here, Neal, actually.
Why?
Because on the 1st of January, I put in all the birthdays of all the people, so it's already in there. It's not just your birthday, okay?
Well, I didn't figure it was just mine.
Priscilla. Okay? There are plenty of other birthdays in this planner. Don't flatter yourself.
Thank you. I feel more comfortable now.
Yeah, but yeah, pretty good. And so far, I've written something in it every day of the year, which is not difficult because it's only the.
It's the third
Going strong this year. Going strong so far. Yeah.
Good start. You okay there, Neal?
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of other Christmas gifts that I can talk about on stream, and there's just so few of them.
Yeah, I didn't.
He had to unwrap
So
the
few that you
pajamas
can
for most
talk
of his-
about, or so few that you got?
So few that are stream appropriate to discuss.
Oh my god,
Oh,
Neal.
no.
Jesus.
Oh boy.
Okay.
No, it was a weird Christmas this year, guys.
I gave a gift and was very disappointed by the. So, okay, I gave my dad a little thing that sits on a jar of petroleum and like produces a flame, and you can cook on it. Right? It's got the little like metal
Yes.
prongs to like make.
Yes.
It's like a camping thing. And when I bought it, all of the like pictures and things included the jar of petroleum, and it was expensive enough that I was like, included, don't have to worry about it. And then it showed up in this rinky-dink little box, like as big as my flip phone, right? Like, and I'm like, this is wrong. Something has gone wrong. What is going on? And then he opens it up. He's like, oh, this is so cool. And he starts unfolding it. And I'm like, where's the fucking petroleum? I deserve some petroleum for my like $175 here. What the hell?
Oh, I have.
That is one thing that upsets quite a few people, actually. I've heard that story several times in my life
Yeah.
before.
So we got.
It doesn't come with the can attached. You got?
Yeah, we got this light therapy lamp, which it makes sense, right? Like we're inside all day now, like here, and it's dark this season. Like here, have a sunlight thing. This thing is fucking bright. Like you turn on because it's just like this whole thing is the light, right? And you turn it on like, oh, this looks interesting, and then you blind yourself.
Oh, jeez!
Whoa.
That is a continual light stone right there. That's what that is.
Seriously.
Thing is vicious.
Jeez.
When I heard light therapy, I wasn't thinking the blinding light of the sun. I was thinking like soft cooling, like UV free light or something.
No, I think
Those
it's supposed to
soothing
be like a
things that
UV
wake you
light,
up
'cause
in the
it's supposed to
morning,
be
right?
like- it's supposed to be some sunlight, essentially, right?
And
Oh,
I
that is
stare
the
into the
fucking
face
sun.
of God and feel
I think the
holy
goal
again.
is to like reflect it off your walls. I'm not sure, but that thing like is
It feels like the second form of a SMT boss. Like, you now face Yahweh.
Oh, Jesus. Other than that, my sister gifted me a bag I will never carry.
I always
bag.
wonder about that, right? Because the women in my family always gift each other these like totes and bags and little things, and I'm constantly wondering like, I've never seen any of you carry anything like this ever. Do you ever use these? Do you like these? Is this an elaborate troll? Right?
I have one of these situations going on with my best friend's mother, who I love dearly, and she loves me dearly too, but holy shit, I hate Christmas and giving her gifts, because so for years and years and years, she used to give me bubble bath for Christmas, and I do not own a bathtub. And she knows, because she's been to my place, and she knows, and she'll still give me bubble bath. So at some point in my life, I was sitting there with my 6 bottles of bubble bath, and I was just like, I'll have to tell her. I have to tell her, because if I get bubble bath again this year, I'm gonna fucking lose my fucking mind. So I told her, I was like, listen, I don't want to be disrespectful, but I don't have a bathtub and I don't know what to do with this. I actually gave it away to my sister at some point. I was like, here's all the bubble bath, I can't do anything with it. So she just has it now. So now she has started gifting me body lotion, and I don't use body lotion. But I can't be like, listen, I also don't like body lotion.
No, you can't.
So now I'm just going.
Thank you for being so accommodating, but what the fuck?
You know, it's nice. So, you know, now I just have body lotion, which I will not use.
Nice.
I'll probably, honestly, I feel like, is it legit to regift these things? I feel like I should be allowed to regift this body lotion to people who use body lotion, don't you think?
I think so.
I know regifting is shit, but what am I supposed to do?
I just think
can't
as long
say
as
a
you
second
regift,
time I can't use it. And I really can't throw it out.
I think as long as you regift outside of the like circle that gifted it to you in the first place, I think everything's kosher.
Yeah.
What if just regifted to her next year? That would be terrible.
No, outside of that circle. Outside of that circle, right? So like your best friend, probably out. Her, like, giving it back to the same person, out, right? I don't know, anyone with a direct connection to those two, out. Anyone else, legal, right?
So
What if I start
mom
gifting?
gives it to you, so you give it to your boyfriend's mom, right? You like hop the generation gap, you know? You bridge the two separate sides.
3 years and you forget who sent you this gift and you accidentally give it back to the same person.
No, here's the big brain idea. I'm gonna gift her the handbag my sister gives me, and then I'm gonna gift the hand lotion to my sister.
There you go.
Got it. Next year is saved. Oh, also we got a massive amount of gift subs there.
Yeah,
Massive amount.
Thanks,
Hello.
Arcadum.
Hello. Hello. Thank you. Welcome. Oh, yeah. So I think that's the big brain, because I usually see my friend's mom after Christmas, not around Christmas. I see my sister on Christmas, though. I'll have to think about that rotation next year. Yeah.
Regifting is just gifting with extra steps. I agree. Chat on point here.
Like of all the memes to like survive from Rick and Morty, I'm glad that's the one, because that's just, it's such a good line.
That's a great line. Why did Rick and Morty die? Here's like a legitimate question I have, because I was never like 100% in on Rick and Morty. Like I thought it was funny and I watched it some, but like it was the craze. Everyone was Rick and Morty. And then like all at once, it was like somebody shut off the faucet and there was just like, now it's gone.
I think there was like the popular backlash to it being popular, right? Like there was I think around the Szechuan sauce thing, you had like that big sort of popular, like we all hate Rick and Morty people now.
I feel like when I see backlash like that though, usually like the popularity goes down a little, but it continues, right? Like there was a huge backlash to the CBS show with the Bazinga Man, and everyone decided that show is crap and we hate it now, but it continued to have like very high popularity and be talked about a lot long after the backlash. And with Rick and Morty, it was like gone. It was like somebody legitimately turned off a faucet. Like I never hear about it.
Well, because they always have like a year in between each season, right?
That's true as well. They take forever to make new seasons, so it probably just like lost its hype in between like season 3 and 4. Would be my guess.
Yeah, I was
old
always
like an Attack on Titan.
I was always under the impression that the creators were kind of like, we're gonna do what we want with this thing, and if it takes us an extra year to make it, then so be it. But we're gonna do this show in the way that
it's working out for them. I think it's still like by far the most successful show on Adult Swim. So
yeah, and it's still staying good.
The only thing I had heard was that at some point everybody said, "Oh, the Rick and Morty community is so toxic. They're so toxic. Such bad people." Like that was like, okay, I guess. I don't know, dude. I don't know which corner of the internet you have to like be around to judge other communities and stuff. Like, I can perfectly fine consume things without delving neck deep into communities, you know? So I was like, I can't tell, because honestly, the only people I talk about are my friends, and I think they're pretty okay, you know?
Yeah.
So maybe there's like this toxic thing going on, but I'm not into it that much that I spend my days just, you know, looking at sub-communities of Rick and Morty all day, so.
Yeah, it's a weird thing. It's like, and with that, like even the like relatively bad communities are not monocultures in of themselves, right? Like I've shit on the Path of Exile community a lot because their global chat is just fucking horrendous. But like there's a lot of normal people who play Path of Exile. I joined a smaller like global channel because you can change your channels in the game, and everyone there was just a normal person, so that was fine. Like the communities aren't monocultures, so I don't get the like this community sucks unless your community is fundamentally centered around something that fucking sucks. Like,
yeah, there are great trends. Like the fighting game community and the Counter-Strike community are very trendy towards certain behaviors and personality types.
I've never been involved in the fighting game community at all. Like I don't know about the fighting community except for through one dude on stream, Shaper of Stories. Brett Bayonne, I think is his name, and like he is the chillest, nicest. Like I just thought that was the way. Like he'll smack talk a little bit, and while he's smack talking you, he's like, "Here, hold these hands. Also do this and this better." Right? Like, and he just like he is never frustrated. If somebody beats him, he's like, "Oh shit, good set. I gotta learn how to do this, and this." And he's like playing like 3-dimensional chess when he plays, and I love this dude so much. And then I just thought that was the way the fighting game community was, and then like somebody made a reference to the fighting game community. I'm like, oh, it seems like a great place. And I was like, wait, why are they so negative about this?
Yeah.
So there's two angles to it now, where like you have the fact that it's getting more and more esports, which a lot of people don't like, because I don't think any game except for maybe Dota 2 has done a good job of not feeling really like sterile when it does the esports side of things. But then also we're discovering that all the old like FGC icons were just fucking awful people. Like just horrendous people.
I didn't know this. I just was very happily in my one little corner of the internet.
Yep.
Yeah, I get that feel though, Greg. So if I ever watch any clips from any tournaments or something, because I stumble over them, not because I'm particularly interested, but you know, you watch two people in a tournament, you know, play whatever fighting game against each other, they seem really chill people, you know, like they do the whole thing super relaxed, they chuckle, they shake hands, and one of them is the world champion, and I'm just like, what? I would have lost my fucking shit. Like I'm way too you know, angry to play against these people. They all seem super chill, but then apparently in the background what's going on seems to be, you know, pretty rough. So I've only heard, I think last year and the year before, like there's been stuff about the Smash community which has been really, really bad.
Oh yeah, Smash 2.
Like Smash seems to be problematic in a lot of ways, you know. But yeah,
I guess Smash is a fighting game.
A lot of people are going to disagree with you on that one. I
always thought Smash was like a party game that involved like fighting game elements. I don't know. I guess
yeah, but they are tournaments, right?
It is a fighting
Smash
game.
Tournament.
You're in line with the creator on that one.
Okay.
Who like made a bunch of, because Melee turned into a really competitive fighting game, right? And the creator was like, I hate that, and he made a bunch of changes when Brawl came out to make it more of like a casual party game.
That's just what I always thought about. I never considered it a fighting game, but I guess it has all the elements, right? It's just, yeah, it could be a fighting game.
Why not? Why not?
Yeah. It's I find the weird culture war around it to be very dumb. Like, if you can, the argument that FGC people will bring up is like, you have to do all these like house rules to turn Smash into a competitive game instead of like a dumb party game. It's like, so if you can make it work by doing a few house rules, then sure, why not?
House rules are cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Imagine if people were like, oh man, Dungeons and Dragons isn't a real game. You have to use house rules to make it fun.
Though to be fair, there was, I think, a long while ago, there was they tried again to do a 5e championship competition thing on Twitch. Do you remember that? I can't. Was it Encounter RP? I want to say did that.
I don't know.
So they were running, like several people were running the same dungeon against each other, like, and whoever would beat it the fastest would get like a prize pool or something like that.
Somebody has already done this, because that's been in the back of my mind for a long time. I read. Shoot. Well, all right, check that off the list of things to maybe do one day.
Listen, just because you're not the first to do it doesn't mean you can't do it much better.
Yes.
Okay.
I can only do things as the first, because I will never be the one to do them better.
Oh my God,
Greg is justifying the replication crisis right here.
I think you're just a filthy liar, Greg. I think that's what it is.
I'm bad at like most things in life. No, but okay, so that what used to be like a real thing, right? Like not just a like, oh, some dude did it on Twitch. Like in the, I think it was AD&D days, maybe it was maybe it was the like original 3rd edition, not 3.5 days. There were like convention style tournaments that like you went to, and there were convention like judge DMs, and you ran through as a group every like the same dungeon, and you scored points based on like the number of monsters you killed, the amount of treasure that you got, how quickly you did it, and they added up all the points. They had like winners, like there was like a true like D&D competition, and when I read about that I was like, God, that's fascinating.
I'm trying to remember when that was. I think that was AD&D 1st edition.
Okay, yeah, it's an older edition like that. Back when like getting gold out of the dungeon was still the goal of D&D. So yeah, it would have to be AD&D still. And I always thought, God, that just sounds so fascinating.
Sorry, go ahead. Scoozy.
I always thought it would be cool to have like a channel-wide league table for like a month. Be like, look, if you got a group that's got enough balls, come do the dungeon, and then we'll post your score, and the winner gets a thing. I don't know. I always thought that'd be cool. It's disappointing to hear that somebody also had that idea. Turns out Greg is never unique, even when stealing old ideas.
I don't know. I haven't done a really good long dungeon crawl session like that in a while.
Yeah.
I miss like fighting for 4 hours, you know? I miss that.
Well, coming up soon is Deadly Dungeon, where you can fight for 4 to 6 hours.
It's not the same, though. It's not the same.
Clearly, you gotta get a one-shot setup, Faye. You gotta get like all your friends together. You gotta run. What's that one that everybody hates?
Oh, now I'm intrigued. Talk to me about it.
4th edition.
No.
Tomb of Horrors?
The adventure, the one that.
Tomb of Horrors?
Yeah, Tomb of Horrors. That's it.
There you go.
The one that's like, it's like killing everybody with dumb bullshit.
Yeah, actually, yes. Actually, yeah. I think that sounds pretty good.
You should run the original Palace of the Silver Princess, because apparently that was really cool. Like that one got pulled from store shelves because it was right around the time that all that occult stuff started, like the Satanic Panic hit D&D.
Oh.
And the woman who wrote the original Palace of the Silver Princess put some shit in there.
I'll make a tiny note on my to-do list. Palace of the what?
Silver Princess.
Okay.
I think it's like the orange version of it or something was the original. I don't know.
Did you say what edition this was?
Silver Princess would have been either original D&D or early AD&D.
No, I just...
Silver Princess. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, it's fine. If you figured it out, let us know.
No, I'm reading about it right now. So go ahead and I'll tune in here in a second.
I just, I really enjoy talking about mechanics sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, sometimes it's fun to have sessions where you discuss how spells work and how fighting mechanics work and how feats interact with each other and all these kinds of things. And there are plenty of groups where you can't do that anymore because it's not fun for them. You know, there's like specific, you got to do that with your home peeps, right? Like you play that kind of stuff with the people you usually play with, because you can't go into one shot and be like, let's talk about rules for 4 hours. You know, nobody cares about that. So yeah, sometimes I just, I do have my group, but we play a different campaign each week. And we don't have unlimited time. Like I used to play D&D on Sundays for 8 hours in a row, and then in these 8 hours you have a lot of time for other things as well, right? So if you play for a really long time, then you can also talk about rules and settings and shit like that. And then your combat can be 5 hours long, you know, without it being detrimental to your progress in your story or whatever. And sometimes I miss a good bloody fight with a shit ton of mechanics, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I'll keep you in mind if I ever put a 4E game back together.
I've actually never played 4E.
It's a very good system if you want the big dungeon crawl, in my opinion.
I have a soft spot for 4E because the backlash to 4E I felt was stronger than it needed to be, although the system itself is very flawed. But it has a lot of good mechanics in it that I like, and I am glad to have seen ported into other games. And there's some that didn't get ported that I steal and still put in other games. Like, it has a lot of cool stuff in it. And I'm kind of nostalgic for it because it was like the edition that was out when I got into D&D. Everyone still played 3.5, but like 4th edition was the newest one. So Greg, as he got into the game, was like, well, I'll buy the books for the newest one, right? Like, this will be the best decision. So I still have like a soft spot for 4E. And the problem with it is, well, there are many problems with 4E, but the 4E problem that I think sticks out the most is exactly that feeling of like, we had an 8-hour session and we had 2 combats that lasted 7.5 hours.
Yeah, aren't there like elite monsters that are just like, I have very, very little experience with 4E. Isn't there like elite monsters with just obscene amounts of hit points to them? Like, they're just like HP pinatas.
Yes, but the biggest problem isn't so much that. It is the biggest problem is less the HP soak. I think 5e shows you that you can have HP soak monsters and still have a kind of quick, streamlined combat at times. Mm-hmm. The biggest issue is that you have an ability. Let's say you used your mace and you attacked, and then your mace invokes a beam of light that does a +3 to the next attack. And then Faye comes in with her sweet dagger skill that has a forced movement, but that also comes with a bonus to hit. But the thing you're attacking has an ally that has a reaction to the forced movement that then puts a penalty on it, right? And you all have skills, dailies, at wills, encounters, all of them that boil down to, we do a damage and we put a number on the thing. And all of your numbers interact with all the other numbers. And all of the monsters have similar, if not the same, abilities. Mm-hmm. So combat becomes so this ability interacts with this ability, and the monsters have this ability and this ability, and so that's a 6, 5, 3, I think it's a +2. Oh wait, but he gets a free movement and then does this, and wait, you marked him, right? Okay, and that's resolving like one attack. And then the next attack happens, and all of those things have reset or changed.
Yeah, and you gotta do it all over again.
And it's like a flowing spreadsheet on every single turn, which provides for, if you all really fucking know what you're doing, a lot of strategy. But it also provides for a lot of confusion and the willingness to just go like, I swing and I hit, and that's a +1. right? And then you go, okay, +1, +2, +1, -1, -1, -1, go, right? It turns into that. There's no description. It's just like, I do a thing, here's number. I do a thing, here's number. And the other thing that happens too is because you're not describing things and because you're just boiling it down to a number, suddenly all that strategy that you are capable of doing goes out the window because you're just like, oh fuck it, just get a number on them. Just I use my power and it has a number. Here it is. Go do the thing. And so it just bogs fights down if you're not real careful. One thing that I tried to do was involve like minion encounters with like every fight so that people could just ace these minions down and feel really powerful, and then I would just have the like monster HP, and like even then it still was a slog. And then everyone gets so mad at me because I wouldn't tell people outright that they were minions at first. I would just kind of like describe these other things, and then they would waste their big daily power on a bunch of minions and then they were all mad.
I mean, sounds like a personal problem.
It really sucks when you've been holding on to that daily though, and then you just ace a 1 HP minion.
yeah. But I mean, to be fair, like that's kind of what they're. I don't know. I feel like you're not supposed to describe a bunch of minions come rushing at you. Minions was one of the big mechanics about 4E that I really liked as a system in D&D. I wish 5E had carried that over.
I like minions. I think they're good. I think that they provide a lot in the like, I make my players feel powerful and awesome, right? And I think that that's something that a lot of games don't necessarily do so well. Is that like they're too focused on being really balanced mechanical encounters. Maybe this is a DM style thing too, right? I think that this is just like the prevailing wisdom is to have like interesting, challenging, balanced-ish encounters. Even if they're balanced, like even if they're perfectly imbalanced, like there's still this like calculus that goes on, right? To make the encounter feel this certain way. And minions are this great way of providing that feeling of like, I do this cool thing, right? Like I'm powerful. I can chuck this enemy goblin in the air, throw 6 daggers in him. He explodes. I feel awesome. And you still have this underlying calculus to the like encounter that gives you the balanced or perfectly imbalanced like feel that people are often trying to build.
Yep. Oh, to Decode, who's asking what minions are. 4E minions were enemies that had 1 hit point. So if you did damage to a minion, they would die instantly, and they were meant to be like the kind of like bulk in a fight, because 4E was supposed to be the Diablo of Dungeons and Dragons, would be how I would describe it. And like I actually, when you look at like the setting they put together of 4E, it's surprising how Diablo it is, right? Like it's a surprisingly like everything is falling apart setting, and you have like bastions of civilization, and everywhere else is just fucked. But it's basically supposed to be like, we made this mechanic to really exemplify like these characters are above and beyond everybody else, and then like all of the normal people are just minions, and you can take them out in 1 hit, and then you save like HP monsters for things that are like actually cool and dangerous, like enemies. And if you're going for that sort of like heroic fantasy kind of like borderline superhero combat, minions is just a great mechanic.
4th edition is a wonderful combat simulator, but when you come from 2nd or 3rd or something else where you're used to a lot more R in your RPG or in your RP, it falls a little on the flat side. But mechanically speaking, it's like really elegant and beautiful system. It just never felt like Dungeons and Dragons to me when we played it. And we played a lot of 4E, but
it's the like I'd say outside of combat, it works very similar to how a lot of Dungeons and Dragons works in terms of how you can handle a lot of.
It has systems though that everyone ignored and didn't use.
But some of
we used those systems.
Good.
It was like
some of those systems are really good. I love
but it was
them.
like this encounter isn't a combat encounter; it's a skill check. So here's a little bit of story to tie together the fact that someone needs to make this skill check. Someone needs to make this one.
So this is my biggest problem with skill challenges: is that attitude comes from the books. No. This isn't a problem with Neal.
That attitude is the problem. I was like, okay.
that attitude is
fuck your attitude, Neal.
Fuck your attitude. Yeah. No, it's all Neal's attitude's problem.
Sorry, go ahead.
that attitude comes from the books themselves. It's prevalent, right? Most people who played 4E look at skill challenges that same way, right? And the books present them in like, here's an example type of way. But rather than telling you this is an example and like these are some of the things you can do in a skill challenge, they're like, no, this is like the players will have options of they're in a chapel and there's ghosts and we have to exorcise the ghosts, and here are 16 steps that the players can take to get the ghosts out, right? And these are the only ones. And the book presents the skill challenges in a way that makes it seem like it's the DM's job to set the scene and then be like, here are the steps that you can take, which ones do you attempt, right? And then the players engage in these steps and succeed or fail to like continue the scene. The way to use skill challenges is to inform your players, this is the scene, set the scene. You are now trying to expel these ghosts. You need some amount of successes to do it before you have failures. And if you have failures, consequences will happen. What do you do to get rid of the ghosts? And then you can look at the 16 options that they've presented you in your adventure or in your whatever as like guides, right? Or if the player says like, I take my salt sticks out and burn them and do the dance of my people, you're like, that sounds like you're attempting to do X, right? And then you have this proficiency, this skill, and the dance of your people gives you a +1. Roll it. Oh, you failed. The dance of your people makes the ghosts angry. They stir. This consequence happens. What do you like? Now the narrative progresses, but you're still using the skill challenges approach. And now you have systems in place to like make this non-combat encounter feel like gamified and progress, but still develops naturally via the roleplay and decisions of your players.
Yes, and you can make a single challenge, like a single obstacle that is a dynamic problem that changes with every success or failure, rather than just like one of the big things that people have always complained about Dungeons and Dragons is there's no way to build a non-combat encounter that isn't just roll d20 to defeat it. And that was 4E's approach, was like, well, what if we abstract what an encounter is a little bit, and then we say you need to get X successes to overcome this encounter, and then like what people do is up to like them determining it through the fiction, and the GM has to handle that. And it's the same complaint I have with 5e, where like you can make 5e into a workable system, but I think they sell a lot of the mechanics they give you incredibly poorly, and people use them wrong.
That's my biggest problem with 5e is I think a lot of people use the mechanics wrong.
Which is their fault for writing it the way they did in the books.
I can't disagree too much with that. Yeah, the books are not presented very well. One of the positives of the 4E, one of the few positives, 4E's books well presented. With the exception of they fucked up skill challenges pretty bad, but like you can read the book, it's very readable. All the rules are there.
Highlights of 4E. The book is readable. It has words in a language I understand.
That's a positive.
Okay, to be fair, like, our RPG rulebooks could really do some more like.
If you ever played Stars Without Numbers, the first unrevised edition, then you really know how good it is to find things in a book, and be able to read it.
Yeah.
That is some. I mean, I do understand that he wrote the whole thing just to, practice how to edit things, and it really wasn't an attempt to create its own game system and everything. But like, holy shit.
Oh, yeah.
I love the
it's
system, great fan, but that is one book I don't recommend. Like, reading that shit gives me a migraine.
Yeah, it's a shame too, because I actually kind of preferred the original to the revised edition of Stars Without Number, but the book is just so much harder to parse through.
Stars Without Numbers are really good. Yeah. Really, really fun. Really good system.
But like, I think this PDF is like, you can get this game for free in PDF form. Like, people should take a look at Ironsworn as an RPG, because I remember reading that rulebook and just being like, this is the best formatted RPG rulebook I've ever seen in my life. Like, they describe like, our system works by rolling 2d10 in this circumstance, and then they take half a page to show you a big graphic of like a 2d10 and like a visual representation of what you're supposed to do to roll, because it's introducing you how to play a fucking role-playing game, right? Like, here's how to play our game. And it's they like are not afraid to take up entire pages with like big visual graphics to like demonstrate like here's the flow of play, here's how to do this, here's how to do this. It's just overwhelmingly like the best presented RPG rulebook I've ever seen. And like more RPGs need good like technical writers and editors and layout designers.
I think it's really interesting when you look into the old D&D books and they still have stuff like they explain facing with like a picture of like, you know, the chessboard and then having like little statues on them, and like where they actually still do, you know, explanations of, and it's not just, oh, this is a drawing of a halfling and this is, you know, so like it actually, yeah, look at that shit, you know. I just it's you can still tell that this is a game in the end, you know, and that's something I like about the old stuff, where it's nowadays it really is a story with dice, and this is like, you know, nothing
Rear,
more
front,
unromantic than
flanker.
this. Yeah, exactly.
As I recall,
you know?
one of the original D&D systems, like when you rolled up your character, if you were new, they had a choose your own adventure aspect for like making your character, to make it like, hey, you don't know what any of this shit means. We're going to give you like a little narrative story you can go through to like figure out who your character is.
Yeah. And I mean, I love storytelling. Like, I'm, you know, a big fan, but that's not my problem usually. Like, I don't need more tools for successful storytelling, because I'm just gonna do whatever the fuck I want anyways. I'd just like to have, you know, more mechanics to make the part that's not a story more fun. Does that make sense? I don't know. You know, if I just want to tell a story, I don't need dice. I can just tell a story, right? I can make up my own story and can tell how it goes, and then somebody can say no, and then you don't even need to roll for anything, right?
Yeah.
Like,
or even just like better overviews of the mechanics that we have.
better mechanics and better overview over the mechanics. Yeah, that would be nice. Honestly, after playing Mouse Guard last year for the first time, I've really come to appreciate mechanizing. Is that a word? Mechanizing? Non-combat encounters and making them into something interesting. That is so cool. If you've ever played...
explain that a little bit more?
You could have some sort of challenge. That is not a combat encounter, or doesn't need to be a combat encounter. For example, you could have a group of bandits, right? That has kidnapped a person. Okay, so for the D&D person, that sounds clearly this is an encounter, right? You already rolled for initiative, but for example, in Mouse Guard, you can say, well, we're entering a negotiation here, right? You don't want to kill these people because these people have had like a bad time in their life, and they're not really threatening you. They're just saying, leave us the fuck alone. We're gonna let this person go, whatever. But you know, just don't come near us. We don't want to have anything to do with you guys. Like, they're not doing anything to you, and you don't really want to kill them for it. And then you enter like a negotiation, which means you choose your skills that you want to use to convince these people to do whatever you want, which might be surrender, come over to your side, let this person go, hand over the treasure they have, or something like that, right? And you can use the skills that you have, which might be particularly charming, or you are a great leader and you can give great speeches, or you are super fast, so you can, I don't know, you know, run away super quickly, or whatever you want to do. And then you apply your skills, and the opposing team applies their skills, and you weigh them up against each other. And there's also like a point system going on, and whoever scores better in the end there will be either be a winner and a loser, or it's going to be a tie, right? And then depending on how this plays out, obviously the result is going to be different. So if there's a tie, then both of you gain something, both of you lose something, and then you have like the narrative consequences to that and stuff like that. And that is pretty, like, it's in Mouse Guard, it's very, very mechanized. So there's like, you know, exactly how many points you get, and there's like stuff like feints and attacks and defenses, and something is, you call something an attack even if it's not a physical attack, for example, right? It's like, you know, things like that. And so it's really interesting if you play encounters out over a longer time, which is not just like, I'm going to say this and I'm going to roll one die, and if I succeed, the negotiation is over, you know? But it was like an 1 hour negotiation thing that's going on, is going back and forth with like, you know, those kinds of things. And it has a lot of narrative aspects, because you have to say, I'm going to apply this skill, and here's how I do it. Because you can't just be like, I'm going to use persuasion, right? Like, yeah, well, how are you going to do it? You'll have to come up and like connect the mechanic with the story, and then still put it into like a non-combat encounter, and that's a lot of fun. It's pretty cool, actually.
That was the same game that you were telling me about, how you had to draw your character because whatever items they were carrying, you had to draw onto their portrait. Yep, that was a really neat idea that I.
In Mouse Guard, you start your character and you can carry whatever mouse can carry pretty much, so you don't have like, it's not the D&D experience where you walk around with the fucking hiking bag full of pottery or whatever, you know, but it's like, you can have one weapon pretty much, you can have a tiny cloak if you're part of the Mouse Guard, and you can have like, I'll have one stick of coal and a scroll, right? And you're going out there and that's you, and that's all you have, and you have to draw it on your character, otherwise you don't have it. So anything you have, you always have to paint on yourself or erase or stuff like that. So it's also nice because you're much more limited in the equipment you carry around. You know, so you will have to come up with creative solutions or even form relationships with people to get the stuff you want, because you'll be like, this guy has a knife. I want that knife. Let's talk about how we're getting that knife, right? So there's a lot of fun in these things, and that's, you know, in D&D you don't get that, because you'll just carry out whatever the fuck you want, and you'll just have a 1 minute talk and then roll persuasion and be done with it. So it's a very different kind of
way of going
thing.
about it. Oh.
Yeah. And it's both
Seems
fun.
like
I mean, I'd love D&D, otherwise I wouldn't play it that much, you know? But it's been that was a really good experience to have. It was nice. Very nice.
Oh, the Silver Princess thing that I was mentioning earlier. The reason so there's two reasons I found interesting. One is that like it's one of those old D&D modules. And I'm always like really interested to look at like the old adventures they made and how they wanted their game to be played, and like how they were trying to put things together back in the early 1980s, like how people looked at role-playing games. So like, for example, the person who wrote it, she put in, I didn't complete the palace, trying to show them this map could be a mini-base map for their game. The players could discover part of the dungeon that had been caved in wasn't any longer, and the DM could expand it themselves. I was assuming that they were trying to learn to set up their own world, and I was trying to help. And then the other interesting thing is that it got pulled because of the whole devil worship thing. Let's see. There were complaints that some of the depictions in there were too overtly sexual. The Illusion of Decapus by Lara Rosloff, in which a woman is tied up by her own hair while being tortured by demonic-looking figures. There's like, yeah, and I've always wanted to like play through and be like, I wonder how like, is it like very milquetoast actually, and then it was just like a dumb scare, or is it like actually kind of like a weirdly dark Dungeons and Dragons module?
I have the PDFs right here. Let's find out.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw that you linked us to that. It's the orange version, by the way, is specifically because they recalled it and reprinted it.
Okay, so the green version is the toned down. The orange version is the...
Yes, orange version is the original with all the weird in it.
Well, there is too much text here, so I'm just going to look for demonic pictures. Here is a woman being tied up by her hair, but it doesn't seem any worse than something you'd see in Star Wars.
That's like the cover art, right? It's like seems.
Alice of the okay, well, I can do this. I can internet. I know how this works.
Here it is in the Super Cool Kids Club.
Oh my god. That is some amazing art, though.
A lot of the
really
old
like the old school.
Oh wow.
Art. Yeah,
so good.
Yeah, Paladin in Hell is still one of my like favorite Dungeons and Dragons illustrations.
Yeah, original D&D and like AD&D had some of the best art. I loved going to the game shop and just looking through the like ancient books and just like I would just like find art. It's not like super polished looking, like it's rough, and I think that makes it even better.
Oh yeah, look at this. Look at this third image I've posted. So not polished, super rough. Look at that knight's helmet. What the fuck is that visor? I love it.
All right.
Oh, you already posted the other one, the three-headed people.
But look at look at the three-headed people on top of that, right? Like
oh wow.
Oh, beautiful art.
Oh my god, this is quite traumatizing, actually. Go live.
Which one of these is traumatizing? The three-headed people? With like the weird guy on the
honestly,
top
I think I prefer the
lady.
lady being tied up by her own hair over the three-headed whatever they're eating. I want to know.
Yeah, because the lady.
I mean,
being
they're
tied up by
not
her
only
own-
three-headed; they also have 3 arms. Look at that shit.
They do, and like one
They
of the
have
people has an
3
extra chest,
arms.
kind of.
Yeah, that's the second chest that's weird. There's
Yeah.
like a regular 2-headed person, and then there's a third person growing out of their back.
It's an
They're
interesting
actually
way
at
of doing
1.5
three
people.
heads. Yeah.
Yeah, whose arms is it? Right, that's the question.
Yeah.
Whose arms?
Well, I think each
don't-
head gets 1 arm, right? The
I
real question
don't
is, do
think
they have
so.
3 legs? Because
I
the
don't
legs
think
are
so. I
very
think-
tactically hidden. You can't see any but 1 leg.
It's hard to tell, dude.
Yeah.
I'm not
No.
sure.
Can
I
we
have
talk about
questions.
this like random lady with her tongue out? Like, what is she licking? What's going on here? She's just like
What is it? Is she this in the second one?
in the 3-headed people, bottom left. There's this lady seriously
yeah,
touching
Oh, you
she's
mean
hair.
the one on the right hand? Yeah.
The one licking the guy's
Oh,
thigh.
she's the one.
Is she
What?
licking
No,
his thigh? Is that what's going
No,
on?
I think there's some depth difference there, but it looks like it.
No.
Wow, you have a strong opinion on this matter.
No, hold up. Okay, perspective. She's the one who's being fed the
Yes.
spoon.
Yes.
Okay,
Oh,
kids.
is she getting fed
makes
the
sense.
spoon?
Yes. No
That
thigh licking in
angle
this
didn't.
picture.
I didn't think she was licking his thigh. That was a Neal thing.
No, that
But,
was
like,
just-
It looks
yeah.
like she's just like.
She's
"Ah."
making contact to the one, right, to the other lady looking down. They're locking eyes, and the spoon
Uh-huh.
is going into her direction. She's like preparing to
But
be.
the spoon's
the
not going
third-
towards her
the
mouth. The
third
spoon's
head.
going towards like the middle head because it's definitely not going to the woman on the far left because she's actually behind
Also,
the cauldron a
middle
little
head
bit.
is giving me some serious Dio vibes.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, maybe this is the why are you not giving me the spoon, bitch? Look, right, and the middle one knows he's about to get some soup or whatever. I don't know.
Uh-huh. Interesting that the woman on the right, the women on the right, the figure on the right has the 2 arms on the left side of their body, while the others have 2 arms on the right side of their body.
That's true. That's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
Maybe they can actually fuse together and become a 6-headed person.
Also, it seems to go 2 females with a male in the middle or 2 males with a female in the middle. We've got some
I
like
think
weird
I agree
mixed
with
gender
that.
thing going on here. And they've got family pictures behind them. Oh my god, it's so cute.
Oh my god.
And the top right, it's like the family portrait, but they're all separate before they merge together.
Look at the one below. That's like the one is wearing a hat and glasses. Do you see that? The one in the very middle,
Uh-huh.
the family picture.
Yeah.
Like-
hat and glasses. I
Ye-
see it.
On the right hand side.
Wow.
Okay, I have a question.
Okay.
I'm
When is
assuming
Sean
this
gonna
is
run
a-
this for us?
I'm
Sorry.
assuming this is a family, right? Right? Like there's the male, the double male and the double female, and then a like clearly child.
Uh-huh.
Is this
Yeah.
a 6-way marriage? Or like how does this work? Like do all 3 of these heads, who's the head that's like, I fucking hate this bitch?
The guy on the top left, clearly, look at those dead eyes. He's holding the spear, looking into the distance. God, I wish I could just put them in the soup. Which, by the way, has an octopus in it that's still alive.
Is it?
I mean, the
Sure, if
tendrils
it's
are
still
kind of
alive.
pointing up. They wouldn't stick out of the water like that if it wasn't active still.
I've never cooked octopus like this. I'm not an expert.
You know, my cropping isn't particularly good, so we missed the best picture of all. The moose in the background. Look at that moose drawing.
That is pretty good, not gonna lie.
You can tell, like, they wanted pictures in the background, but, like, they just kind of stopped giving a shit about pulling it.
God, that's
What a great
Can we
little-
talk about the barbarian fighting like the Martian Manhunter though? Like where did this come from?
Oh, that came from the very end of the book. That's like at the very...
Ooh.
Why is he fighting the Martian Manhunter and can I play this character?
I have no idea. It's the like back cover of the book, the like another set that you could probably buy, but there's no details on it at all.
Conan the Barbarian versus Martian Manhunter sounds like the type of
Maybe
like
it's related to
1985
Spelljammer?
movie I would need to see.
I'm pretty sure if this Martian dude extends his arm all the way down, then he can actually just.
Yeah, he's a Neal Pyre.
He's a Neal Pyre. We have an accurate representation
right?
of Neal Pyre.
That's just me. He has super long arms. Okay.
He's definitely got some gorilla-sized arms. You're not wrong.
Yeah. And he's kind of
Insane.
transparent the whole way through. High quality artwork, guys. Why can't we do this anymore? Why do we have to do photorealistic pictures?
Yeah, like these pictures are top tier in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
This is what D&D books should have in them.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty solid stuff. 5e art is kind of like, I don't know, 5e art is like really technically good, but it doesn't have that same like expressiveness to it for me.
Okay. Explain the maybe not quite exciting, but still very confusing scene with the halfling to me.
Yeah, the one with the
'Cause
pot
clearly
falling on
there's
his head off the
There's
bed.
a pot with shit, and there's a chair flying. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. And
I
there's
don't know.
a surprise knight.
No, I know what's up with it. It's a haunted palace, right? Like, I'm pretty sure this is
Okay.
like an animated chair that's coming to like whack him in the head. And also there was like probably the animated chair put a bucket on the like the door to like fall on him.
Also, Magneto is terrified of the haunted palace.
Magneto, please.
Magneto, I'm sorry.
Also,
I didn't notice the high cheekbones.
Could we look at the Tinker and his wagon, because that's actually like a really good piece. That's some solid stuff right there. It's page 6 for you, Neal.
The Tinker and his wagon. Ah, here we go. Yeah, let me screenshot this shit.
That's just a solid little piece right there.
Oh, that is very nice. Look at that ox.
There's like a little heart carved into the side of the thing on him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I like
wagon
the
is
dome, like the
lovingly
sort of like dome
crafted.
covering for the wagon.
I do too.
Uh-huh.
You know,
I
that's
also
actually
like the
how I
way-
imagined. That's how I imagined your card, Greg.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I imagined it. You know, with like just the elves sitting inside playing cards.
And then you walk inside, and it's bigger on the inside.
And it's actually huge. Yeah, that's how I imagine it. Pretty much like that.
Nice. I hope people actually liked that NPC and interaction, because I had so much fun making him.
Yeah, no,
The creepy elves constantly playing cards was my favorite touch, and I don't know if that came across, but I loved the
No,
creepy
that
elves
was the
just
thing that really like, made
constantly
that
playing
character for me.
cards.
It was like, yeah, just the two elves who had a never-ending card game going on, and like every time we went there, it looked like something had changed, but they were still playing.
Yes.
So if you've never experienced the glory that is Seekers of Sarmanath with car alarms, you know, Greg has had this. Greg has had this wonderful NPC who was called. Wait, I'm getting it mixed up. I want to say the Collector, but that's Darkest Dungeon in it. What was it? Was it called the Collector?
Yeah, I think it called him the Collector.
I think it
have
was
my
called the
notes.
Collector, who's like this really, really ancient entity who just walks around and collects magical items.
You've
and he's a little
confirmed
bit,
me now that I've stolen it from Darkest Dungeon. I have to check my notes.
he's a little bit cuckoo in the sense that he might not remember you when you meet him because he's just that fucking ancient and he's met so many people. And he travels around through the country in this like really nice wagon where he just stores all the magical items in. When you open the wagon and you walk inside, there's just a bunch of elves playing cards in there, and they're always playing cards no matter which time you open the door. Like they're always sitting there all day and night.
I think
And
like,
I really don't
another-
like it when you
was that
interrupt
at
the
one
game.
point? Like there was a third elf eventually or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know. This is something like that.
But also,
And
yeah,
everybody
then,
was
he
just
had
like-
every magic item. Greg just said, "All right, take a
Yeah.
look at the DMG. You can get any magic item in this book. He'll trade you for other magic items."
Yeah.
Yeah. And once we got the magic items, people suddenly decided that this guy must be evil. There's no way he's good. If he has this much power, he must be the
he was saying
devil.
things in Infernal, right? Like he's probably.
Yeah,
What's a
come
little
on.
infernal among friends, you know?
Yeah, he seemed like a solid dude. That was nice.
Well, I think this is the high point of Chit Chat, so we should kill it here before it goes down into the depths. But we should also probably get back together for some lag in the future. I wanted to grab another session with Ryan before we started again, just to see what his character was up to. But apparently, he's got like other things going on in his life that might, you know, be more important than Dungeons &
I have
Dragons.
a feeling you probably won't be seeing lag anytime soon. If my friends are anything to go by, there's still another 2.5 months or something until the new father is capable of playing 4 hours of sustained D&D.
Yep.
Well, I'm going to poke at them and see if will be available.
Yes, needle the new parents. Hey, can you
Hey,
quit paying
really
attention
happy
to that
for you
little
guys.
child
So
real
proud of
quick?
you. But hey, I just want to ask really fast.
Well,
I
we
need that
chatted.
fixed, dude.
We chatted, and he's like, she's chill. If I can like play a game where I can maybe walk away from the camera for a little bit to like deal with the child, then it'll be fine. So I think it's a navigatable experience. You might not just be sitting, be wandering out. There's 2 of them. You know, how many people does it really take to watch a kid?
2.
Okay, damn
That's
it.
the answer. It needs 2.
Okay. So we'll try and set up some lag in the near future. Anyone have anything to say before we call it a night?
No, I don't think so. I'll see you whenever we eventually do lag again.
Yeah. If we can't lag, we'll chit chat.
Yeah, you can come and watch Greg and I play King of Dragon Pass and
Yeah,
go
it's
through
a good
weird.
time.
Yeah, it's a fun game.
Where can they find that?
Every Friday, except maybe I don't know. Greg is injured right now, so we'll see when he's good to go again.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of glad we're ending now because I need to go lay down.
Okay, what did you do
My ass
to
is
ruin
in
your
literal
back,
pain.
How the heck did you injure yourself, though?
So I decided I was too fat from COVID and needed to get back out running again, and I went out early in the morning, and apparently it had been cold enough to freeze, even though it's not
Jesus.
really like freezing temperature out. But I turned a corner on some ice and did the old skitty flop right on the old tailbone. And,
Yep.
yeah, I'm in real agonizing pain. I'm sitting on the
believe that.
fluffiest pillow, but it's still hurting.
Yeah.
Okay, go lay down. Goodbye. Oh boy. No, feel better soon. That is fucking painful. That's terrible.
So they can find us on Fridays where, Sean?
Over on Greg's stream. Is it Greg Hansen now? It used to be Gregory Hansen, right?
No, it's always been Greg Hansen.
Shit. What?
Yeah, it's just my name.
Okay.
Gregory E. Hansen's my Twitter, not the
Twitter.
anyone
Okay.
should
Okay.
care.
I thought you had changed it or something. I just.
I initially was trying to make like silly punny names, and I was gonna like have a clever gaming pseudonym, and then I was like, I really don't want to do this. This is a lot of work. Can I just get my name? And then I heard JP be like, oh, one of the worst things I ever did was call myself It Me JP, which I was just like a normal name. I was like, I agree. So I will also just be Greg Hansen on the internet. And then it turns out Greg Hansen's not a very like uncommon name. So I had to get a little creative with the Twitter.
So you can find the gaming on Greg Hansen, twitch.tv/that, and then you can follow Baker Sundays for depressing but sometimes insightful and hilarious things.
You have to be willing to understand that the world is occasionally shit, and and Sean will remind you constantly. But during those reminders, you will find some like nightmare stories that are just wonderful.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
you can send all your scented candle pictures to Feyama for you.
Oh yeah, if you got any, if you got any,
Scented candle pictures.
Scented candle pictures. Are they scratch and sniff?
you have to describe the scent though. If you do that.
I really want people
Yeah.
to start sending Faye scratch and sniff
Yeah,
pictures of candles.
this is my Twitter. Send all the scented candle pictures. We'll discuss them next time when it comes up.
Excellent. All right, we're out. We will see you guys another time. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.